Sales for Pioneer, Polar Carpet, Walsh-Schmidt Construction, Bowser's Digging and Pump Services, and for
Mink, we are committed to making a meaningful and positive impact in the schools and businesses within our community. Like a Hail Mary, throw to win the game. We are here to help you every step of the way to take care of your financial goals. We are dedicated to helping you score big while we strive to make a big impact in our community. American Mink is a proud supporter of the Remsen St. Mary's football and volleyball teams, and we are wishing them a happy and successful season. Bump up the spirit and cheer on the Hawks to victory. American Mink, achieving success together. Member FDIC.
Test, 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 test.
We can hear it. Test, 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 test.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
Family has been providing trusted funerals since 1943, when Joseph and Adele Fish bought Remsen's only funeral home. Beginning in 1976, Joe's son Joel and his wife Jean continued the tradition of being a family-owned and operated business. In 2009, David and Elizabeth Fish carried the family tradition into the future and now offer monuments. The Fish family is honored to assist you in your time of need, offering care and compassion. Fish Funeral Home and Monuments in Remsen, our family serving your family since 1943.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fuller Digital Solutions. This is St. Mary's Hawks football. I'm Ryan Hayek, and joining me for the fourth time in a row is RSM former head coach Zach Arnold. Tonight's matchup will be the 2-2 St. Edmond's Gales of Fort Dodge and the 4-0 Hawks of St. Mary's Remsen. Coach, yesterday you called me, or maybe 2 days ago, and you told me something popped up on your Facebook, a memory. You want to share that memory that popped up about 6 years ago?
Which one was it, Ryan?
It was the Newell Fonda game, homecoming 6 years ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was almost exactly a year to the day that we lost that game in 2016, which, as it turns out, was the last time that the Hawks were beaten at home. So it's been a little over 6 years exactly. And the Gales are going to come in here and see if they can turn the tides on the Hawks tonight.
That is crazy. It is homecoming week, and we've been unbeaten here in the home field for 6 years. So happy homecoming week to all them RSM fans, alumni joining us here tonight and watching us and listening to us. Coach Arnold, I spoke with Osterman this afternoon. You know, it's been homecoming week, and he said practice just wasn't their best practice. You know, a lot of distractions. Just as a former coach, how do you address the homecoming week with all the distractions and everything?
Yeah, you know, and you know this as well, Ryan. It seems like as a coach during homecoming week that we just have this script that gets passed across the state, because I think every coach feels the same way about homecoming. There are a lot of distractions, and even on game day, you know, you really don't have a full school day, which is uncharacteristic of every other game that you play typically. You have the parade, you have some games, you know, they get in the gym and they do a bunch of competitions, kind of have fun in the spirit of the school. And so, yeah, as a coach, it can be challenging to keep them focused. And the biggest thing is, you know, practice and go like you planned. Can you put it together on Friday nights and execute?
Yeah, we'll see how the Hawks come out tonight. I know Coach Osterman's a little worried to see how they come out after just a okay sort of kind of week in the practice field. So also talking to Osterman, offensively they want to establish a running game. St. Edmond's has great DBs on the back end. And, you know, Coach, I think that's a huge advantage for the Hawks up front to establish that running game. You know, with all their athletes being on the back end, I think there's an advantage up front in the trenches where we can take advantage of.
Absolutely, and every game we've called so far, we've hit on this a little bit. Just the speed and the dynamic players that we have at Remsen St. Mary's, they present a problem to defenses, you know, and if you can establish that running game, because, you know, you can't fall asleep on Cale Ortman, Alex Schrader, Ryan Woolman out there in the passing game either. So you get that going, that'll open up a lot of things in the passing game, and you can get some of those bigger plays.
Yeah, and then defensively, the number one key is to stop the quarterback. This is a quarterback that they've probably seen a few times early this year with the dual threat quarterback. He runs and he passes, has great stats both offensively or on the passing game and running game. So Coach Osterman wants to keep him in the pocket, contain him as much as possible. The DNs need to have a big game today. And then obviously they want to stop the run, make them forced to throw, put them in those easy pass situations where the Hawks can get after it a little bit on the defensive line.
Right.
Let's talk about that a little bit, Coach.
Dynamic quarterback, and in my opinion, probably the best quarterback that the Hawks have faced this year, both running and throwing the ball. They run a lot of sprint out sets, so you're going to see this quarterback get the snap, get out of the pocket, and he has no problem throwing on the run, and he'll even throw on the run to his weak side, which means his left hand. And so some key points for them is, they got to see where he's in a scramble like that. You got to keep him contained. That Mike linebacker is going to be watching him all night and try to keep him in his sights. Pressure never hurts, but they got to control the boundary. You don't want to get this guy out in the open field running, being able to kind of run and gun and have the option to where you can throw the ball downfield, which is another weapon that they use a lot. He'll scramble, and those receivers will fade down the sideline towards the boundary, and he'll throw a jump ball up there, and they have some pretty athletic kids, and they'll make a catch. Yeah,
absolutely. This is a very talented team on the opposing side for sure. This is a St. Edmond's team that has 2-2 right now. They've won big game, or they've won a large amount, and then they've gotten blown out a few times too. So, I want to see what kind of team shows up here Friday night and see if there's a team that will try to upset this number one team.
Right, and that's a really good point. They have some big weapons, and they're a good team. Hopefully they've been able to shore up some of the things that they've been lacking on in prior games. The biggest takeaway for me for them is they have to come into this game with the attitude that they need to win every snap. They have to realize when it's time to abandon things that, are not going to work against a team like St. Mary's with all their speed and athletic ability. And I think that's their best, put their best foot forward and be aggressive and try to go out here and win a football game.
Yeah, Coach, we talked about it a lot last week. Come like you're ready to win the game and not just competing and not trying to just play safe.
And you got to fight for 4 quarters. 4 quarters you have to fight because the Hawks are going to be out here and they're anxious to get going. So.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they come off right away. We're just about to kick things off here. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. This is Hawk Football.
Healthy means enjoying life's best moments, and the best way to stay healthy is to make your routine appointments. Whether you have new symptoms or it's time for your annual exam, the providers at Floyd Valley Healthcare know and listen to you, so you'll get the care that you need. We help you stay healthy by providing preventative care, finding health concerns early, managing chronic conditions, and connecting you with specialty care close to home. Don't miss a single special moment. Make your appointment today.
I'm Dr. Brooke Kahns. I'm a new general surgeon at Floyd Valley Healthcare, and I look forward to working with the community.
Coach, we're back here with Hawk Football. Let's go over the starting lineup for the Hawks. At quarterback will be number 15, Cale Ortman, senior, 6'2", 205. Running back, number 21, Brennan Fish, senior, 5'10", 180. At slot back, number 3, Alex Schrader, senior, 5'9", 165. At tight end, number 8, Ryan Willman, senior, 6'5", 180. At the center position will be number 76, Lennon Steichen, sophomore, 6'1", 245. At the guard position will be number 44, Hunter Pick, junior, 6'1", 245. And at the other guard position will be number 52, Ty Tritz, junior, 6', 235. The Hawks starting offense coach. Cale Ortman comes in tonight throwing 76% of his passes completed, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. How crucial is a quarterback that keeps secure of that football?
He's tough, and he does a good job with that, and he makes really, good decisions out there, and you see that every week. The timing on the routes is impeccable. They practice it a lot, and the tough part about Cale is he can make those passes, but boy, can he get out in the open field and run as well.
Absolutely, and then on the ground attack, we got Brennan Fish. He has 8 touchdowns, just over 300 yards in the short season. Talk about how tough he is.
He's tough, 9 yards a carry, and Brennan, really good at utilizing that stiff arm. gets in the outside of the tackle box, and once he gets in the open field, he's just such a fast runner. It's hard for people to keep up with him in an 8-man, as we all know. You're missing a couple, defenders that you'd normally have in 11-man, and open field is just, they're off to the races more oftentimes than not.
All right, this is Hawk Football. We're going to step away for the national anthem and hear a word from our sponsors.
Gangler Feed Service in Remsen is your complete farm store. We feed all farm species, and we're a Hubbard, Kent, and big game dealer. Whether it's sprayers, grain banking, corn drying, or feeding your animals, we're your complete farm store, and service is our business. Gangler Feed Service in Remsen. Call them at 786-2234 or stop in and see them. Service is our business at Gangler Feed Store, Remsen.
We're back for homecoming week. It's Hawk Football. Hey, Coach, if you're I didn't get a chance to talk to the head coach for St. Edmunds, but if you're their coach defensively, how do you stop this RSM Hawk offense?
I mean, you have to kind of pick and choose what your objective is, right out of the gate. In football, obviously, you want to be able to stop everything. It's hard to do that, typically based off, different talent levels of students, athletic abilities, and also size at this level. You get a senior that's a bigger kid against a sophomore or a freshman that's smaller. It doesn't bode well for them all the time. So what I'm thinking for them, he's got to find a way to he needs to make Cale Ortman play the game that he wants him to play. He touches the ball every snap. Obviously I'm not saying Cale's the only elite player, right, but if they can keep him and get him to do what they want him to do, that'll kind of keep those other guys under wraps a little bit. You don't want Cale out here running wild, being able to, run and gun, throw the ball down the field, make those good timing routes, and also scramble and blow up these big plays. So for them, realistically, a lot of it's going to start in the trenches, in that tackle box, that linebacker set, their defensive linemen and ends. They got to stay disciplined and stay home. They can't over pursue because St. Mary's is just too versatile. And I feel like if they do that, they will blow open the door for some big plays.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I'm the St. Edmunds offensive coordinator against this defense that only gave up, I think, 13 points in 4 games.
Yes.
2 shutouts and then 2 a 7-point and a 6-point, I think. But if I'm offense, I'm attacking with formations. I'm getting a bunch of formations these Hawks haven't seen. So hopefully you can catch them off balance and maybe line up wrong where we can score an easy touchdown.
Right, yeah, and that's a good point. Like you just said,
when you're
line
outmatched,
up wrong.
You got to try to do something different and try to get your guys in a better position than the other team, knowing you're probably on paper, at a disadvantage.
Absolutely. And with that quarterback, like you just said about routes and stuff like that and formations, St. Mary's is so fast sideline to sideline. This quarterback really likes to use the edge. So I'll be curious to see how that turns out.
And we're off with Fish in the return. He's got a lot of green in front of him. No one's going to catch him unless the turf monster comes up. It's going to be a Hawk touchdown. But hold everything. Ryan. We have a flag on the play. This one, I think, Coach, is going to come back.
Well, at least he got his legs warmed up.
We'll see what the ref calls here. But what a start by Brennan Fish, but it's going to be a block in the back. So An unfortunate 75-yard return gets called back.
You know, it's interesting that a play like that, Ryan, to start the game. You know, yeah, you're bummed out that the touchdown gets called back. As a coach, though, you can kind of take that into consideration and look that, you know, your guys came out right out of the gate on special teams and were ready to make a play.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so you know their heads are in the right, space right now.
Absolutely, especially when we said that wasn't probably the best practice they had. So we'll see how they open up here. 1st and 10 for the Hawks up their own 20-yard line with Ortman and Fish in the backfield. Hand off to Fish to the near side. Fish is going to get met at the line of scrimmage, and that's where he's going to get tackled. Nice job by the Gales on the defensive stop there, led by Koopman.
Yeah, you know, looking at some prior film, Ryan, you know, that's a really good open field tackle by Fort Dodge, and, you know, that's something they've kind of struggled with a little bit, it seems, in the run game. So looks like maybe they've shored that up.
So 2nd and 10 for the Hawks. Ortman and Fish still in the backfield. Ortman's going to drop back to pass. He's looking downfield, has plenty of time. He's going to call his own number now, run to the near side, and pick up 7 yards on a nice Hawk gain.
Yeah, nice zone there by the Gales. Had, you know, downfield double coverage. You know, the only thing you could really correct on that is, you know, that defensive back, when he's on that island, it's tough to want to run up and make that tackle, and you certainly don't want them to do that, you know, before necessary. But if aware of the line of scrimmage and know when you can kind of approach the quarterback where you can't throw the ball any longer.
Yeah, that was a great protection by the O-line up front. That's good to see here early in the game. But, yeah, not a lot of separation in that back end. So 3rd and 2 for the Hawks with the shotgun T formation. Kale going to hand it off to the inside of Fish. Fish bounces off to the near side. Has enough for a 1st down. And the ball looks like it come loose.
I couldn't see, but it looks like they're
going to call him out of bounds.
He had it in his hands.
Fish picks up enough for a Hawk 1st down. So the very important very first down of the day game. You got to get that first down.
Absolutely. And Brendan, you know, it's funny, when he was a freshman, there were a lot of, you know, you get concerned when a freshman gets in the game and they're not running downhill very fast in those holes. But that's kind of part of his game where he's reading those blockers and he's feeding off that block and he's moving, you know, along with his linemen.
Yeah, nice run there. Now Ortman alone in the backfield. Get a motion off Schrader. And then Ortman's going to run it right up the middle. Come to the near side here. Breaks one tackle. Cuts it over the middle. He's still on his feet, and it's close to another 1st down for the Hawks. We'll see where they measure this. Nice run by Cale Ortman. So once again, O-line's getting their push here early in the game.
Yes, and a good play by Coach Gallus there. You know, Alex Schrader motions across, comes up and fills inside that A gap. You know, essentially being able to take on a combo block on a bigger lineman or go to the middle linebacker, who's probably responsible for Cale. And Cale was able to get outside and turn that into a big gain.
Yeah, that's those motions that you're going to be advantage in the box when having your guy come lead block. So it's going to be 2nd and short here with Ortman and Fish in the backfield. 2 receivers here to the near side. 10 minutes here in the 1st quarter. Cale's going to hand off to Fish. Fish has some room on the outside. Runs up the middle, and he's going to take it across the Gale. 30 to the 25-yard line. Nice gain for Brennan Fish. You know, this is a nice drive here, and what I like the most is they're into the wind, you know, and so it's important to not, if you don't have to throw, don't throw, because you're into the wind, and that'll give those DBs a huge advantage.
Oh, absolutely, and the wind is supposed to be dying down here going into this game, but it's still blowing probably about 12, 13 miles an hour across the field.
So Ortman going to jet sweep to Fish. Fish has Hunter Pick ahead of him, and Brennan Fish is going to carry it close to the 20-yard line. So the Hawks pick up a good 1st down gain of 5 yards.
And Ryan, if I'm the Gales, you know, here watching Brennan carry the ball and just the style runner he is, you know, using that stiff arm, you know, in that situation specifically, grabbing his legs, the next guy starts coming through and trying to punch that ball out of there.
You got to get that ball. You got to try to get turnovers here in games like this. So 2nd and 4 for the Hawks. Hawks are marching.
And they're pretty out-leveraged here on the strong side of the formation, Ryan, so I'm curious to see what the play Hawks come up with.
So the Hawks go with the hurry-up offense, try to get them off sides, and they do. So that's going to get an easy 1st down for the Hawks. I'm a huge fan of that play call.
Yeah,
you know,
too.
you got rhythm, and hey, by the way, let's just go on 2 or
the
let's
defense
change up
is getting
the rhythm
anxious.
A little bit.
Absolutely, the defense is
if
anxious.
They're going to give you a free 5 yards, why not? So Hawks are in the red zone here, just inside the Gales 15. Ortman going to hand off to Fish. Fish cuts it up the middle. He breaks a few tackles and then didn't get swarmed by a bunch of Gales right out about the 6-yard line, but not after another gain, about 7 yards.
You know, I don't know if I've ever seen Brendan really get tackled by an arm tackle on his legs. He's got such strong legs, and he's so versatile side to side. You really need to get a shoulder pad into him, Ryan.
He's a tough runner, and very rarely will one guy bring him down on the first attempt. So nice drive here by the Hawks. Let's see if they can punch it in here. We got 4 wide here. Ortman alone in the backfield. And he's going to drop back to pass. He's going to throw it here to the near side to Schrader, and it's going to be a Hawk touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown pass by Cale Ortman to Alex Schrader.
And again, we see, that timing route, a quick little hitch, and Cale knows when he's throwing it, and Alex is aware of that, and the timing's just so hard to prevent that as a defender, especially down by the goal line when you're trying to, your head's moving around and you don't know where they're going to be at. Those timing routes are just extremely difficult to stop.
Yeah, we just talked about throwing it into the wind. Well, 5-yard pass, that ain't going to stop. The wind ain't going to affect that, and that's Schrader's second touchdown reception of the year, going for 2. Hawks are going to throw it out to Jackson. Jackson's going to drop it there, so the 2 points going to be no good. So it's going to be Remsen, St. Mary's Hawks, 6. Fort Dodge, St. Edmond Gales, 0. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
At Happy Siesta Healthcare Center in Remsen, Iowa, we strive to provide a comfortable home away from home, whether your needs are for long-term care or rehab to home. Regardless of your level of care, our mission is to provide you and your loved ones with quality, compassionate care in your time of need. And outpatient therapy is available with Remsen Rehab, located inside Happy Siesta. And Happy Siesta Healthcare Center is always looking for quality employees, so contact us if you'd like to work here. Happy Siesta Healthcare Center, Remsen.
Welcome back to Hawk Football, Fuller Digital Solutions. Coach, you can't ask for a better start for Remsen St. Mary's. A nice 60-yard drive to start the night.
Yeah, and a crisp drive on that point.
Very clean. I mean, other than the kick return, it was a nice drive. Jackson to kick off here to the near side. Going to go out of bounds, so St. Edmunds should get good field position to start their opening drive.
And talking about St. Edmunds, Ryan, going into their first offensive set, some big points for them to keep in mind. They have to hold their blocks, and you really, with the way that they run their offense, the quarterback moving around a lot, getting to the boundary, those downfield blocks become very important. And, you can't leave these St. Mary's defenders untouched because they fly around the field so fast. It's just so hard to gain yards on them, if you're not doing the little things, 100% correctly.
So the St. Edmunds going to make him re-kick here. Do you like the call here by the head coach? Into the wind. Probably would have been their ball at the 25, I imagine.
Yeah, they must feel confident. And, we talked about number 2 back there, and he's a dynamic player, and maybe they just want to see if he can get the ball and make something happen on the special teams.
Yeah, number 2 back there is Dickerson. He's their leading receiver. He is a playmaker for the Gales. Jackson's going to try this again. He's going to squib it here. And St. Edmunds is going to kneel it here just inside the 30-yard line. So I guess it was an advantage. I think they were going to get it at the 25. They get it at the 29-yard line. So.
And it appears that Coach Osterman was thinking the same thing we were with, hey, maybe not give that guy the ball right away.
Yeah, for sure.
If we don't have to. For
sure. So the Gales are going to start here first and 10 at their own 29-yard line. Number 11 is going to be the quarterback. That's J.T. Loffersweiler. He is a stud. He's got 6 TDs on the year to 1 interception and leading the team with 7 rushing touchdowns on the year.
And Ryan, this is, they're coming out here in a wing formation. This is by far their most used formation, and you have a kind of an advantage with that in the tackle box with your blocking scheme. So we'll see what they come out with here.
So Loffersweiler's going to hand off to the far side. And St. Edmunds got a nice little gain there, and that was number 17 on the carry, Baker. He's a sophomore running back. So a nice pickup by the Gales there. You just talked about that wing formation, how it's kind of an advantage on the outside, and right there they set the edge and get a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, it's tough because a lot of teams defensively, they play inside the tight end, and then you have the wing outside of the tight end. And if your your outside linebacker isn't outside of that wing and kind of close to the line of scrimmage, you just gave him a quick 5-yard seal.
So 2nd and 1. Loffersweiler's going to keep. He's going to chuck it deep to his receiver Dickerson, and it's going to be incomplete. Nice coverage by Alex Schrader. You know, second and one, I love taking a shot.
Absolutely. You know, and especially where they're at in the field, you know, if I'm them personally, this is 4-down territory for me, you know, on the 40-yard line, a game like this.
You have nothing to lose. I mean, you got to tell this Hawk team we're here to fight. You know?
Absolutely. And I like that. I like both play calls so far, you know, and they're moving the ball.
Absolutely. That was a very catchable pass, but great coverage by Schrader. So 3rd and 1 here for the Gales. Loffsweiler's going to hand off to Baker to the outside, and he's going to get just enough, it looks like, for the first down. Nice stretch by Baker. That's a sophomore running back, 5'11", 170. He's their leading rusher on the year with 140. No, he's got 35 carries for 148, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Nice little sophomore. So this time it's going to be play action pass. Loffsweiler's going to throw to Dickerson, and he makes the catch this time. Nice pickup for the Gales.
Yeah, that's tough, you know, and they do a interesting concept there on offense, Ryan, pulling that guard around to kind of pick up a outside rusher. You don't see it a lot in high school 8-man, but I do. It's a pretty decent concept.
You know, Coach Osterman said they got a dynamic receiver in Dickerson. They want to try to contain him. They know they can't stop him, but just try to contain him and kind of limit those big plays. So far, big play here to start with Dickerson. This time, Baker's going to get it to the far side and pick up a couple of yards before he gets taken down by Willman and Fish on the tackle.
Yeah, and a really good run set, you know, both run plays by the Gales so far. You know, they're forcing St. Mary's to respect the run game a little bit, and so they can't fall asleep on that and just worry about those receivers down the field, which is obviously, like Coach Osterman said, his biggest point of concern.
So 2nd and 7 here for the Gales. So nice little drive here by St. Edmunds. Just 6:30 left here in the first quarter.
Yep, and here they come back in that wing. They're having some success with it, and they're going to stick it out.
And here it is, a play-action pass, and Loffsweiler's going to come here to the near side, look downfield. He's going to chuck it deep, and it's going to be incomplete, intended for receiver Dominic McCain. And, you know, that was a great decision by the quarterback. You know, there was no one open downfield. Chuck it deep in the end zone, let no one get an interception. Play to live another down, you know.
Absolutely, and we talked about that last week with Kingsley, you know, throwing that red zone interception, kind of a jump ball. I'm kind of surprised, though, when I watch their film, you haven't seen him do that a lot. He likes that jump ball. You know, he likes to throw it up there and let Dickerson kind of make a play on it, but he was also scrambling.
Yeah, and the receiver had Willman, who's 6'5", on him. I wonder if that had something to do with it.
That is a change,
So
yep.
3rd and long here for the Gales with Loffsweiler and Baker in the backfield. He's going to drop back to pass, throw across the middle, and it's going to be completed right at the 1-yard line. So that was a great catch by Koopman. He's a freshman, so big catch over the middle, but he's shaking up. So it's going to be 1st and goal for St. Edmunds. We'll go to break here. This is Hawk Football, Fuller Digital Solutions. So the Gales are going to have it 1st and goal here at the 1-yard line. Heck of a catch by Jacob Koopman. He's a freshman. So the Gales are marching right down the field on the Hawks. And Coach, right away, I've noticed them run the ball on 1st down, and then their play action 2nd down.
Yes.
I mean,
well, and it works really well.
Some pressure on 2nd down, knowing that they've shown that about every 2nd down. They've done some type of play action.
Yeah, and if you're the Hawks, if you're the Hawks in that situation, you know, based on the run game and how that's working, you know, you have to go off that, especially with you're down by the red zone. You know they like to throw. What I want to see the St. Mary's Hawks do a little bit is drop that Mike linebacker and those outside linebackers a little bit deeper to make those throws kind of more challenging for him. If you're 5 yards off the ball, he can dump it over your head, quite easily. You want to get back to like the 8 to 10 yard range and make a more congested space for the ball to go through.
First and goal. Lofsweiler's going to hand off to Baker to the far side. Baker's going to try to stretch it out, and he's going to be met by Cale Ortman. Nice job by Cale. That'll be a tackle for loss.
Yeah, and a great, textbook play. Ride that blocker out, keep your outside, shoulder free, and make the play by the boundary.
So nice job by the Hawks, making it second and goal from the 7 yard line. But I tell you what, this Lofsweiler, he's a junior. He's completing about 50% of his passes, but doesn't turn the ball over here. So
right, and that's going to be huge in this game. Penalties and turnovers in a game like this, when you're having explosive offense, can really set you back.
And he does have the most rushing touchdowns. We'll see if they call his number here. Lofsweiler's going to play action pass, and he's going to throw it back to Baker, and Baker's going to make the catch, but it's going to be just short of the goal line. So nice play, but once again, Coach, second down, play action pass.
Yeah, quick dump off, and I'm noticing too, a lot of their passing scheme is designed for the boundary. You don't see a ton of stuff in the middle. They're kind of hitting those little dump off routes, throwing those corner fade routes. So food for thought too, you have the boundary as your friend. You can cheat a little bit, try to force them to do what they don't want to do if you can do that.
Oh, big down here for the Gales. Third and goal under center here, Lofsweiler. He's going to try quarterback sneaking up the middle, and I think he's going to be short. Yeah, they're going to mark him just short, so it's going to be fourth and goal. Nice job up front by Hunter Pick and Caden Groper. Big Poppy there, winning the trenches. And Lenny Steichen there as well. So huge stop there for third and goal. Now it's fourth and goal at the 6-inch yard line. And that's 4:30 left here.
One of the most unique situations to be in football because it seems so obvious to just line up and try to run a QB sneak
Tom
or
Brady
dive.
does it pretty well.
Yeah, he's the greatest. But it's like it's not as simple when you're out there and the defense is banking on you doing that.
Now they're going to go out of shotgun. I'd go right back to that. So Lofsweiler's going to hand off to Baker to the far side, and it's going to be tackled for a loss. The Hawks have a huge defensive stand, and Jackson bunkers Hunter Pick and Groper on the tackle. Nice play. Coach, we talked about this last week. Third and goal, under center at a 1 yard line. Love it. You picked up 6 inches. Now it's fourth and goal. Now you go under shotgun.
You're starting at a disadvantage. You're back further. And
I'm a Packers fan. I'm glad Chicago did the same thing last week.
Yeah, for sure.
So big stop here for the Hawks defense. They're going to take over first and 10 at their own 2 yard line. Cale going to keep it himself to the far side, and he's got some room, and he's going to reach for a first down, but there is a penalty on the play. The only thing you got to be worried about right here is a penalty in the end zone. That's an automatic safety.
Absolutely. So, you have to be cautious.
Usually I like to run just right up the middle. First down. Get away from
Get
that
some
end
breathing
zone.
room.
Don't try to do any pulling stuff. Just run. Let's block vertical. Let's get away from the end zone here.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good point. When you pull, you're essentially letting a defensive lineman go through that gap, and if he makes a good read and a good play, he's got an advantage in space. He can tackle you in the backfield.
So it's going to be a holding on the Hawks, but if you are going to hold in this situation, it's only going to cost you a yard. It's
True.
half the distance. So you might as well hold good here because
that's true.
It's only going to be a yard penalty. So shotgun T here for the Hawks. Cale gets the ball. He's going to run to the near side. Fish with the lead block. Gets a good block. Cale breaks one tackle. He's still on his feet, and he gets it to about the 30-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 27. So great pickup by the Hawks.
And the outside linebacker for the Gales did the right thing there. He took on that block, and he forced Cale to cut inside. The issue is, that Mike gets occupied by an offensive lineman, and no one's there to make that play, where they want to make it, a couple yards after the line of scrimmage.
That was a nice lead block by Brennan Fish there. Running back lead play. So first and 10. Now they got some breathing room. They're outside their own end zone. Cale going to motion Fish. Fake to Fish, drop back to pass. He's got wide open receiver in Willman. And Willman catches it. He's got some room on the near side. He's going to take it to the 10-yard line of the Gales. So nice play. That was set up that last drive. Run, 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 run. Now you go with the play action pass, and our receivers gets behind their DBs. Nice, easy pitch and catch by the Hawks. And Ortman to Willman, that's been happening all year and last couple of years.
Absolutely, and if Kale doesn't have a guy in his face and he's under pressure, he's going to make that throw probably every time.
Yeah, great protection up front by the line again. 1st and 10 by the Hawks. Kale gives to Schrader. Schrader cuts it up the middle. He's going to get tackled right about after a yard pickup. Boy, he was real close to breaking that one.
Yeah, it looked like they were just hanging on by almost an ankle tackle, but you get that weight on those legs and they don't move anymore.
So the common theme for the Hawks this year has been a huge stop on defense and turning those stops into points on the offense. And we'll see if they're going to do it here. They're about 11 yards away from making that happen. 2:50 left here in the first quarter. Ortman, Fish in the backfield. Hand off to Fish. Fish cuts it up, and it's going to be a Hawk touchdown. Nice job by the O-line, as there was nothing but green grass after that hole.
Yeah, and they left him a great running lane there, Ryan, and Brennan hit it quickly that time and was able to get in the end zone in a hurry.
That is Brennan's Fish 9th touchdown on the year. So great drive by the Hawks. A 78-yard drive. And the Hawks are going to line up for an extra point. Kale's going to hold. The hold is good. Jackson, the kick is up, and it's good. So Remsen, St. Mary's Hawks, 13. St. Edmonds, Gales, 0. 2:42 left here in the quarter. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Insurance can be confusing. With all of the legal terms, different policies, what are you actually getting? With over 60 years of experience, there's no confusing the experts at Matkin Insurance. Let Matkin Insurance help you find the policies that fit your lifestyle, budget, and needs. Matkin Insurance takes pride in being an independent agency, always working for what's best for their customers. So what are you waiting for? Contact Matkin Insurance today.
Welcome back to Hawk football. It is homecoming week here for the Remsen St. Mary's Hawks. Nice little crowd here. Thanks for everyone tuning in. So big drive by the Hawks after a huge stop defensively. And Jackson going to line up to kick off. Squibbed it the first time. We'll see what he does here. This one he's going to try to kick it deep. And Baker's got the return. He takes it to the 20. He's got to the near side, and he's going to run out about the 25-yard line. Nice job by Tinniger with the push out of bounds. So if you're St. Edmonds, you stick to what was working the last drive. I mean, it was run, first down, play, action, pass. I mean, do you stick to that formula, or do you switch things up here in the second drive?
Well, I think they definitely discovered some plays that they can kind of put a star by. You know what I mean? They had some pretty good, nice openings. So just going back to those and seeing if St. Mary's is still vulnerable there. But yeah, you want to hit those same plays if you can.
So we got Lossweiler in the backfield. He's going to fake the jet sweep and run it right up the middle and pick up close to 5 yards. They're going to mark him down after a 4-yard gain. We've got some slow players to get up, and they're going to blow the whistle here. Look like Brennan Fish and Willman on the tackle.
Yeah, and that looked, out of that flanker set, Ryan, that's, in my opinion, that's their best running set in terms of formations. And looked like he was holding on to that a little bit longer than he wanted to. That wasn't as crisp getting that hole as, I've seen him on film. So he might be kind of feeling out the Hawks defense because he knows how fast they are sideline to sideline. He's trying to see where his openings can be.
Yeah, that's the first time Lossweiler's been called his own number. So 2nd and 6 here. Lossweiler drops back to pass. He has some time, going to throw it here to the near side. It's going to be incomplete off of Baker's hands. I'll tell you what, the O-line's giving him some good time to throw here.
Yeah, they're blocking well tonight, Ryan. And those are a couple of those look like pretty big boys.
Yeah, a big 64. He's McDowell. He's a senior. He's 225 on the line. And 56, that's Nemmers. He's a senior. He's 200 on the line. So, yeah, they got some experience up front. Then they got Walker, it looks like a 225. So here we go, third down. Lostweiler's got his own number here to the near side, picks up enough for the first down. That was a great play call by St. Edmunds.
And that's a good point, Ryan, and we were talking about this before the series started. When you come back out and kind of run what's been working for you, and, that first series, a lot of it was that wing formation, and they came back to it right there and got a first down. They played with the flanker a little bit. I think they'll come back to it. They run a lot of good running plays out of that. But, again, not every team plays defense like the Hawks do. So just because a set worked against a different team doesn't mean it's going to work against these guys and vice versa.
Absolutely. 2 minutes here left in the first quarter. Lostweiler and Baker in the backfield. Lostweiler's going to roll out to the right side. He's going to chuck it deep to Dickerson. It's going to be incomplete over his head. Nice coverage by the Hawks. It looked like that time they did drop those backers a little deeper, made a little tougher throw than it.
Yeah, created a difficult throwing lane for sure. And you can see a little bit, we talk about Kale and his timing. Right there, he's running a deep hitch route. You want to put that on his, put that on his numbers, when he's about to make that cut, And so the timing isn't quite there yet. We'll see if they can figure that out going forward.
So 2nd and 10 for the Gales. Trips formation here to the near side. Lostweiler's going to call it himself. He's going to run to the near side and pick up 1 yard before he gets tackled by a host of Hawks. And that was Schrader and Garrett and Bunkers on the tackle. Bunkers leading the team in tackles this year. Boy, we say it every week. It's good to have him back out there.
3 defensive touchdowns already this year, and as many games. It's
pretty impressive.
Yeah,
it's 4 games, 3 touchdowns on defense.
And it's not an accident. You know what I mean? Jackson is out there, and he's just such a smart, savvy player. He puts himself in these situations where he's able to make those plays and take them back for a touchdown.
And one thing that's great about him, you don't see too many missed tackles.
No.
And when you're middle linebackers, for sure tackler, that makes things a lot easier on the back end. So 3rd and long here for the Gales. Lostweiler's going to motion a guy, hand off to the far side. And he's going to get tackled right there, Bunkers.
Yeah, and 17, for the Gales, that was his responsibility as a block. And actually, they have quite a bit of success with that running play. But like we said, the Hawks are a different animal out there, man. And Jackson Bunkers individually.
One-on-one open field tackle, and Jackson all over it. So nice job by Jackson. That was hitting on the carry. 4th down for the Gales. They're going to punt this away. A bit of high snap, but Lostweiler gets a nice punt end over end. And it's going to drop inside the 10-yard line, so nice punt by the Gales.
Yeah, I looked that up earlier today, Ryan. 35 yards he's averaging on his punt.
Okay,
so
and he's got a little wind behind him still,
yep.
So, if you can put some touch on it here in high school and pin a team back, that's a huge advantage.
Huge. Well, like you said, your playbook kind of shrinks when you're the offense backed up in that situation.
But the Gales had him backed up here last drive. We'll see if they can do something different here. If you're the Hawks, just stick to that, medicine there. Stick to it. Here we go, shotgun tee. And Fish is going to get the handoff up the middle. He's got breaks a tackle. He's to the near side here. Still on his feet across the 30, 35, just about midfield. Nice run by Brennan Fish. Boy, he's such a tough runner.
He is, and that's tough. Their linemen are getting to the second-level blocks, and that's never a good sign, especially when you have a fast running back. They're gonna get big gains in plays like that.
And just like that, up-tempo for the Hawks in that shotgun T formation. So Kale's going to hand off to Schrader right up the middle. Schrader cuts it back to the near side. It's a foot race. It's all but open grass for Schrader. That's going to be a Hawk touchdown, a 42-yard Schrader touchdown.
Ryan, right there specifically, I'm watching that play develop, and number 17 for the Gales is the outside linebacker on the near side, and you can see him get sucked in. He's shuffling inside. He gets inside the tackle box. Well, what happens? Alex Schrader ends up cutting back through that lane, and now there's nobody in that spot. And it's hard when you're playing a team like St. Mary's. You want to outperform what you're capable of. You know what I mean? You're trying to do too much, and you forget about just doing your little job and being in that spot to prevent that big play from happening.
That was a nice run by Alex Schrader. What a combo between Fish and Schrader to have in the backfield. And then to add Ortman alone as well. So Hawks are going to line up for 2. They're in the left hash. Ortman, Schrader, and Fish in the backfield. And this time Ortman's going to keep it, and he's going to cut it up the middle for a 2-point conversion. It's good. So Remsen, St. Mary's Hawks, 21, Fort Dodge St. Edmunds 0. 4 seconds left here in the quarter. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Moeller Carpet and Floor Covering in Remsen has provided the best flooring materials for their customers since 1959. For all your project needs, including hardwood, tile, carpet, vinyl, and luxury vinyl, planks, and more. Visit their showroom in Remsen and see what flooring types would work for your home or business. Their team can also complete your flooring installation after your free estimate. Visit Moeller Carpet and Floor Covering in Remsen today and visit them on Facebook.
Welcome back to Hawk football. Nice, another 75-yard touchdown drive by the Hawks. Coach, it's been all Hawks here in the first quarter.
You know, yeah, it has been. And the ironic thing is that the drives have started back, inside their 5-yard line a couple times, and they're still making these, these scores look relatively easy.
Yeah, quick drives. So Bunkers to kick off again. Probably try to keep it away from Dickerson. And the kick is deep. And it's going to be a touchback. So nice kick by Jackson. So 21-0. St. Edmunds are going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line. No, I think they're going to try to come to Dickerson here. If you're the Gales, you got to stick with that receiver. Try to get him. I wouldn't mind seeing him on some jet sweeps.
I was thinking the same thing, but it doesn't seem like they mix him around and move him around like that a lot.
It looks like he's a very receiver type.
He's a split
player.
end, yeah. He just stays out there.
So Lossweiler and Baker in the backfield. Fake to Baker, and Lossweiler's going to keep it here to the near side, and the Hawks are all over that. That was Schrader and Fish on the tackle. And the first quarter is over. It's Remsen St. Mary's Hawks 21, St. Edmunds 0. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
The Remsen Farmers Co-op has been serving you for over a century. They are a full-service co-op providing area livestock producers with Land O'Lakes and Kent feed. And take advantage of their full-service agronomy center for all your crop production needs to maximize your yield. They also buy and sell grain and offer grain drying. Remsen Farmers Co-op with years of experience and ready for the future.
Welcome back to Hawk football. Coach, tell you what, that was about as good a quarter as you can ask for, both offense and defense and special teams.
No, for sure. And, I was just thinking about this during the break, Ryan. The Gales come out there, and they run a pretty good play, and the tight end's down blocking, and the backside guards are pulling around. And what I've seen a couple times is they're trying to run the ball inside on that, and you really got to get outside of those pulling guards and get to the boundary because you're essentially just running right into where all the defensive players are. The defense wants you to run there when they're pulling and they're trying to steal the edge. So just some things like that. I think they just got to figure out and
if I'm the offense, right, you're getting some good movement, but against a good linebacker and against a good defensive team. How about some reverses? Get those linebackers' eyes moving. You got to keep you let Jackson Bunker zone in on a play and after play after play look like a Noah Schrader out there.
Yeah, you get rhythm.
Start making him think. You got to bring back a reverse or
absolutely. That's a good point.
So that's something you got to do against good defenses. So 2nd and 8 for the Gales. They're going to motion and fake the jet sweep, throw it deep. He's going to look for Dickerson over the middle, and it's going to be intercepted by Schrader. The great play by Alex Schrader. Boy, he was all over that.
Yeah, and I was talking to Coach Osterman before the game, Ryan, and, he's talking to me about the passing threat for the Gales. And, you see a lot of balls like that in their previous games where he's essentially throwing it up and trying to get that Dickerson to make a play. And I told, Coach Osterman, I said, yeah, the difference is that, our defensive backs are extremely athletic, and Alex makes, he's been starting for years.
Alex is undersized on that matchup, but boy, he's right in his pocket.
Made a great play on the ball.
Jumps up, makes a play. So his 3rd pick of the year. So just a dynamite play there, and the Hawks are going to take over. Fish in motion, fake to Fish, and they're going to take a shot first play. He's going to throw it to Willman over the middle, and it's caught. And it's to the Gales 20-yard line.
Man, that
I'm
was
a huge
nice
fan.
ball.
You
That
know,
was a nice ball, Ryan.
you know, after a big play on defense, what do? You take a shot. And now you got the wind behind you. Don't be afraid to throw over the middle. And Ortman throws a dart to Willman across the middle.
Yeah, if he really tried to put the ball where he put it there, that's impressive because that ball didn't get very high off the ground, and it was no way that the defender could make a play on that.
That was a great ball. 1st and 10 for the Hawks at the Gale 20-yard line. Fish up the middle. He's going to pick up 6 yards, almost 7. So nice job by the Hawks O-line. Get a good push up front.
Yeah, they're blocking well, and I really like the play call in a situation like that where, the Gales just had a turnover, let up a big gain in a passing play, and now, hey, we're going to come at you right up the middle, and we're going to wear you out mentally and be physical against you because you're kind of feeling defeated already.
Yeah, everything's working on the offense. Kale's going to shuffle pass it up the middle, and that's going to pick up a couple before he's surrounded by a bunch of Gale defenders. So it's going to be 3rd and short for the Hawks.
Ryan, you said a few minutes ago about, the Gales and facing a good Mike linebacker, trying to get his eyes moving. Even a small play like that where you think it's going to be a pitch outside and all of a sudden they cut it back in.
Yeah, you don't know.
They have to honor that now.
Yeah.
Now you've seen it and you have to honor that.
Yeah, you
so
don't know if it's an option.
That's a
or
good
that.
way to keep the eyes, moving around.
So we'll see what they do. 3rd and short. They try to draw them off sides. No one jumps. Good job by the Gale defenders.
I expect the Hawks to take a shot to the end zone here, Ryan. I think they will.
Yeah, or just run right up the middle. So Ortman's going to hand off to Fish. Fish is going to cut it out to the far side. Breaks a tackle, and he's going to reach for the end zone. We'll see what they call. Touchdown. Remsen, St. Mary's Hawks. A 12-yard run by Fish. His 2nd tonight.
That's one of my favorite aspects of that, the check play where they get out there, they see how you line up, and hey, we're going to check it. Then they look back at the sideline, and Coach Gallus, who probably watches way more film than these guys do, is able to assess where the defense is and what play he wants to run based off of that. And I really think that's a really good plan for high school football.
And the Gales are right there at the line of scrimmage to meet Fish, but
right.
He's got such a good stiff arm. And
he does. He uses it too.
And then he went for 12 yards for a touchdown. Gales are going to jump off sides. Now we'll see if that makes a decision here for Coach Gallus and the offense. Go for 2. I go for 2 here. They're going to give you a free 1.5 yards. You might as take advantage of it.
Well, it's a good opportunity to work on short yardage play for a big game situation where it's 4th and goal.
So we'll see. Osterman is talking to the official. We'll see what maybe Osterman is trying to get it on the kickoff. I don't know if that works or not. So it's half the distance here.
No, the yardage doesn't equate, so I don't think they'd allow you to do that.
So Jackson to kick. Snap is high. Kale's going to chuck it out. And he's going to throw it up to PK. Braxton Knipe, and it's going to be over his head, incomplete. So the Gales stop them on the 2-point conversion. I don't know if that was a designed 2-point conversion or if it was a high snap, but it did look like the receivers knew what they were doing, and they did get off to a fast start.
So. Well, they probably practice that in any situation where it's, designed or by, hey, fire, fire, fire,
yeah.
Everybody turning it open. And one thing, I've commented on this before, and I remember Coach Stuckenholtz back when we were playing, a couple of his philosophies for wide receivers were, 1, if it touches your hands, you can catch it, and 2, you're much more likely to catch a ball with 2 hands than you are with 1. A lot of guys in high school, and maybe because they watch too much NFL, they put that one palm up there and think they're going to snatch it out of the air, and you're just not a surefire way to, as the 2-handed concept.
Well, Coach, 2-handed catch is boring. You got to catch one-handed and try to get on Sunday. You got mossed, man.
Yep. You got mossed.
You got mossed. You got to try to get that Sunday film on there. So here we go. Jackson to kick off. 10 minutes left here in the second quarter.
They haven't learned the Zach Arnold design for 2-handed catches by doing diamond-handed push-ups, Ryan.
Oh, all them young receivers there. Diamond push-ups for sure catches. You heard it from Coach Arnold. Want to thank little Gallus here with the camera work. This is doing a good job here. Junior high football player for the Hawks. Future Hawk with us here up in the booth. Future high school Hawk. He's already a Hawk, I guess. Junior high. 1st and 10 for the Gales. You know, his Lofsweiler's second interception of the year. We'll see what kind of confidence he has. And, you know, I go right back to him and try to get a little bit of higher percentage throw with Dickerson.
Yeah, get him the ball in space a couple times and see what he can come up with then.
But they're going to hand off to the near side, and there is nothing there with Ortman and Holman and Roper on the tackle. That was Baker on the handoff, so 2nd and 9 for the Hawks. You know, we've seen a lot of deep shots, you know, and that's great and fine and dandy. But as you've seen, that deep shot into the wind, that football doesn't carry as, you know, far.
For sure.
You know, has the short game lost in high school football? Like, where's the hitches at? Where's the out routes? Where's the slants? When's the last time we called a slant?
You know, the slant is a good point. I haven't seen a slant in a while, and I'm a huge fan of the slant. I like this logo, you know, the slant and go. And these guys run an out route system here. Here we go.
So here we go, the corner route here, and that's going to be completed. Nice pass by Lofsweiler.
Yeah, get your confidence up a little bit. You know, get a couple completions in there, get your rhythm back, and then you can start, you know, because, again, they're going to take some of those shots being down 27-0. But you don't want to go out there and throw the ball down the field every time and incomplete it or intercept it, you know.
Right, that was a nice catch by the tight end, sophomore McCain. So I'm calling these names on the roster. A lot of sophomores, freshmen, and juniors.
Right, absolutely.
This is some young talent here for the St. Edmond.
Freshman that made a really nice catch down by the goal line and got injured.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, no, not another light issue here with the cars.
A headlight on?
Yeah, here we go. Lofsweiler going to roll out to the far side. He's got his shoulders turned. He looks deep across the middle. Overshot his receiver. And it's going to be intercepted by Keaton Harpenall. It was intended for McCain, and it just flew over his head, and Keaton was right there to make the interception. Nice play. Want to talk about some young talent? So do we.
He's tough.
Sophomore
Absolutely.
Keaton Harpenall.
Solid player. You know, and I'm not sure if we hit on this in pregame, Ryan, but it's in my notes here. I just kind of looked down. You know, we talk about the sprint out concept they run, the quarterback scrambling. You have to kind of know, you know, as they say in poker, when to hold them, when to fold them. You know, you want to make that big throw. There's nothing wrong there with given the game situation to take 4-yard gain on a run.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and he's rolling out to his left, throwing across his body.
So big turnover is going to have the Hawks take a shot downfield. This one's to Jackson here on the near side to the Gale 35-yard line. So, man, this offense just has so much fire weapon. I mean,
it's tough. No, it really is. I mean, you have to kind of pick your poison and choose wisely because a lot of guys can make you pay.
Big pickup there on first down for the Hawks. So, Kale and Fish in the backfield. Two receivers here to the near side. Kale's going to hand off to Fish. Fish has Hunter Pick in front of him, cuts it up, makes one guy miss and pick up about 7 yards. Nice hard run by Brennan Fish.
Another perk of 8-man football or small school football probably. Guys playing two sides of the ball. You see Jackson there lined up, off the ball on the far side of the field, coming in there making a nice block on the Mike linebacker, and the Mike linebacker was out of the play the entire time, and so things like that really transfer over. When you understand your job on defense, you can make your job on offense more effective.
Absolutely. Fake to Fish, throw out to Schrader here on the near side. Breaks one tackle, another tackle, cuts it over the middle, still on his feet. He's to the Gales 10-yard line, then drug out of bounds. A nice pitch and catch. Tell you what, when you can throw it out to a receiver for a spot pass.
Yeah, him, Alex Schrader.
I mean, he breaks 3 tackles, 4 tackles, picks up 15 yards just like that.
I'm doing that a lot.
High percentage passes.
Well,
how easy a completion can that be? It's
exactly.
A pitch and catch.
And you're not concerned about the 15 yards even. If you throw it out there and he gets 4 yards, that's a good run too. You know what I mean? It's like handing it off.
It's basically
and he's
like a run play.
Right. But the thing with him is so dynamic, he's probably going to break a tackle.
And he did there and then some. So 1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line. This one handoff to Schrader up the middle. Breaks a few tackles, takes it to the 5-yard line. Boy, I tell you what, these running backs aren't getting touched about 4 or 5 yards.
It's tough, man.
And
they're tough to bring down
today.
Anyway.
So nice job by the Hawks. Just marching. 7:45 left here in the half.
Yeah, you talk about youth. You got 2 sophomores on your starting offensive line for the Hawks and a junior. And so far this year, they look pretty tough. So they're definitely going to have some power in the offensive line over the next couple of years.
Ortman keeps it himself, getting cut it back in the middle, across the goal line for a Hawk touchdown. A 5-yard run by Cale Ortman. So another drive ends with another touchdown. That is Kale's 4th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Hawks are going to try for 2-point conversion. Ortman alone in the backfield. Motion Schrader to the near side. Looks over to Willman. Easy pitch and catch. That was the out route.
That's tough. I mean, it's almost like impossible to cover unless you design it like defensively as a coordinator. You're going to tell your defensive back, "Hey, I want you to undercut this route. Beat him to the boundary," because the timing-wise, you just can't react fast enough to make a play on that ball.
It's kind of like we used to coach before. Like, high percentage passes. We don't see it on one team. We see it on the Hawks side. And look, they got a 2-point conversion. They got a big 15-yard gain. It's sometimes it's not that hard.
Right. Well, and that being said, sometimes you can do like we just talked about with Alex Schrader, that spot pass for 15 yards. You don't have to throw the ball, 25 yards down the field to gain 25 yards.
Right.
If you can out-scheme them and see where their weaknesses are, you can get that by making a short pitch and catch.
Well, especially an 8-man. I mean, one guy misses. It's usually
Exactly.
a big gain. I mean, so big drive again for the Hawks after a huge turnover by Keaton Harpenall. Jackson with the win here is going to kick it off. 35-0 here in the first half. And another end-over-end kick. It's going to go out of bounds. We'll see what the Gales decide to do this time. I doubt they're going to make Jackson re-kick with the wind behind him. I think I would take the penalty yards.
For sure. No, yeah, and as a coach too, just thinking outside of the box in terms of like how the game works, game theory, I guess. I want to get my offense out there and, get a structured series going. You don't know what could happen. He might take a touchback. You're going to have an advantage here to take the penalty and get your offense going.
So we'll see what they're going to take the penalty. They're going to take it at the 25-yard line. Normally you get it at the 15,
yep.
For 8-man. So they're going to get it at the 25. And that's great field position. You're 15 yards away from midfield.
Well, mentally it's not as stressful either. These guys they're going to start passing the ball. So high percentage. I seen St. Mary's subbed in Braxton Knipe on defensive end, so there's more speed out there. So now the sack likelihood goes up as well, and you don't want to be back by your 5-yard line.
Right.
Getting sacked and backed up
Absolutely.
in your own territory.
And the Gales going to be 1st and 10. Losweiler hands off to Baker on the far side. Baker going to get wrapped up by a bunch of Hawk defenders. Knipe, Groper, and Jackson Bunkers again on the play.
The defensive line there, great job. They got some depth, and then it's lateral down the line of scrimmage to make the play. I mean, it's hard to run an offense against a team that does that.
I tell you what, for not having their best practice week, it really hasn't shown here tonight. I mean, these guys are clicking on all cylinders here in the first half for the Hawks.
No, they look good.
So Losweiler going to fake to Baker, look deep. He's rolling off to his right, and he's going to chuck it here to the near side. Incomplete pass.
And Ryan, as a quarterback, throwing that ball off of your back foot, not being able to rotate that back hip around to get some leverage behind that, that's what's scary is because a lot of times those balls, if a defensive back can make a good read on it, those are your pick six passes because the quarterback's on his back foot, the linemen are all chaotic and a mess trying to block people, and there's nobody there to stop him.
Need a lot of strength, to get that ball all the way hash mark to sideline. So 3rd and long for the Gales. We'll see what they draw up here. Fake to Baker. He's going to drop back to pass. Scrambling. Fakes the pump fake. And he's got the Hawks all over him. That's going to be a sack by Braxton Knipe. The first time we hear his number tonight. Young sophomore. We talk about young talent. And Braxton right there on the sack. They call him the old BK.
Yeah, BK made a nice play there. I'm glad to see him secure that edge and not have the quarterback beat him to the boundary because we've already talked about how elusive and explosive the quarterback is.
And how many times have we seen defenders jump in the air for that pump fake?
Tons of times.
This defensive line stayed on their feet, was able to make that sack. Nice job by BK. Well, the Hawks are going to come after the punt, not get it. And Schrader is going to give the fair catch. Great job by Schrader catching the ball there in traffic. Hawks are going to take over in great field position. 1st and 10 at the Gales 38-yard line.
You know, and if I'm the Gales here, Ryan, and granted, my philosophy is different than, everyone has a different perspective when they're coaching any sport. You know, the St. Mary's is very comfortable doing what they're doing right now based off of what I'm doing as a defense. You know, I'm personally going to press them. I'm going to get up there in line of scrimmage and I'm disrupt the timing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're having so
absolutely.
much success being able to get those receivers out in the open and Kale slinging it in there quick. I want to disrupt that timing.
You have to do something different, right? I mean,
You can't, yeah.
So Ortman, alone in the backfield, trips to the far side. He's going to run to the near side. And this time the Gales are all over it. Nice job by the Gales defenders.
Yeah, really good job. You took away the outside gap that he was responsible for.
That was
and
Nimmers on the
that's
tackle.
how you draw it up. The inside guy makes the tackle, and here's the thing. You have to do that every play.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get overzealous out there and over pursuit and get beat. You have to just do your job and remain calm and stay composed out there.
So the Hawks, first time they probably got tackled for a loss. It's going to be 2nd and 11 for the Hawks. 4 minutes here left in the half. The Hawks look a little confused. We'll see what they draw up. They're going to hand off to Fish. Fish is getting met in the backfield and ran out of bounds right at about the line of scrimmage, and we have some laundry on the field. I think they're going to call it on the Hawks there, Coach.
Yeah, I didn't see anything with watching the poll there, but
I tell you what, the Gales look, they got some fire on them this drive defensively.
that's the best that they've defended the run so far this game for sure.
I tell you what, this is great for the Hawks right here because this is going to be 2nd and long, something they haven't seen, or it's going to be, do you decline the penalty and make it 3rd and long?
Right.
This St. Ed's is going to push them back, make it 2nd and about 20, which, this high-power offense, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd probably push them back.
Yeah, it's that's a tricky question. I'm thinking about it as you're talking about it,
And
I agree with
probably
that.
in 2-down territory, right?
True.
So 10 yards for the Hawks in 2 plays.
Yeah, that's a good point. If it's 2-down territory, yeah, they're probably going to go for the 4th
time
down.
is 3:30 on your side, here
For sure.
the half.
And they're having a hard time stopping you. I mean,
Yeah.
this looks, most time this would look super scary, 2nd and 20, but
We'll see
with
if
the
the
Hawks,
Hawks-
they can make that up pretty quick, it seems like.
So we'll see if the Hawks made him jump off sides here or if they got the false start. And it's going to be a false start on the Hawks. So back-to-back penalties. So 2nd and a country mile here for the Hawks. So Ortman, Fish here in the backfield. Ortman's going to drop back to pass. He has some time. Now he has some pressure. And he's going to get brought down for a sack. That was Baker on the tackle for loss. A big stop by the Gales. Now it's 3rd and forever.
Yeah, you try to make up too much too soon, 3-on-3 down the field, and good coverage. We talked about the defensive backfield for the Gales. That's kind of their strength on defense.
Boy, the Gales woke up this drive. So here we go, Ortman. There we go. There's the offside penalty. Big old Lenny Steichen on the flop there.
If I'm the Gales here, you can see that they've got their defensive backs, 10 to 15 back from the line of scrimmage. I want to have them back even further. And my linebackers back, dropping back. The linebackers are playing.
I'm playing at least to the 40, probably their own 35-yard line.
For sure. I mean, it's so easy to run those defensive backs down the field and then throw a route across the field, over the linebackers, and no one can be there. They can be in a zone all they want to. No one's in that proximity to make the tackle.
So 3rd here and long. Ortman drops back to pass. Has plenty of time. Going to throw it over the middle to Schrader. Schrader to the near side. He's getting some block on the outside. And it's all open grass for Schrader. It's going to be a Hawk touchdown, but it's going to be a flag on the Hawks on a great block, which I thought was Bunkers. That was going to wipe away a 56-yard catch by what I thought a great block by Bunkers.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know what the officials saw. If they just saw a guy, fall down.
Boy, Ulsterman is not happy with that call.
No, that's tough because that was a well-designed play. They almost like heard us talking. They ran the guys down the field, hit Alex Schrader across the middle, and in open field, he's just
what do we talk about?
Really
just throw a simple high-percentage pass.
Exactly.
It's only a 10-yard hitch route, and Schrader does the rest.
Well, no one's behind him. He's only got 3 guys back there that can make a tackle, and they also have receivers on them that if they do their jobs and block them, now it's 4-on-3 because the linebackers were all sucked in.
So it is going to still be a gain about 20 yards yet because the play happened so far down there. So it's going to be 3rd and 11 for the Hawks. So they still get some yardage there. Just under 2 minutes left here in the half. So Ortman alone in the backfield, getting dropped back to pass again. This time he has some pressure. Looks on the near side here to Willman, and Willman makes a catch just outside the 20-yard line.
And another flag.
Another flag on the play.
We've seen a lot of flags on this series, and that's what you don't want to have happen. And the scoreboard is irrelevant in that situation because you don't want to see your team, because they get up, start playing sloppily. Because in a big game, all these little things can kind of transfer over, and then pretty soon you make that same mistake, and your awareness isn't there, and you made it against a good team, and the score is close, and now you may have to punt when you shouldn't have had to.
You know what I take? No, you know what I take here? A timeout.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's a good idea.
I mean,
get everybody calm down
and calm down a little bit here, huh?
Yeah, slow it down a little bit. They're getting the cart ahead in front of the horse. The score the way it is.
A lot of tensions flaring up here with some questionable calls here. So here we go. Ortman alone in the backfield. 1:20 left here in the half.
I bet they'll come back to that
Motioning
play.
Fish. Fake to Fish, looking downfield. Has some good coverage there. And this time Schrader over the middle, breaks one tackle. He's to the 40, across the 40, breaks another tackle, and it's going to be all green grass for Schrader. It's going to be a Hawk touchdown. A 51-yard TD reception.
Yeah, that was a good job. They came right back to the same play, and the Gales, I think the linebackers were a little bit deeper. The problem is if you're not behind the receiver when he catches the ball, you can't see what he's doing. If you're in the same even yardage wise laterally, you have to turn your whole body to see where he's at, and he's just way too quick and shifty to get a beat on him. And by the time you look and notice it, he's down the field.
Alex Schrader having himself a night. Just how you draw it up. A bunch of holding calls.
Right.
Third and mile, and then conversion there. Jackson for the extra point, and it's going to be good. So Remsen, St. Mary's Hawks 42, St. Edmond Gales 0. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Westel Systems is part of a network working tirelessly to keep small, rural communities across America connected. They lead and collaborate on broadband-enabled projects that improve economic development, provide technology for advancing education, and enhance state-of-the-art healthcare through telemedicine. These initiatives, among others, help to connect rural communities and keep them advancing towards a future-proof, sustainable infrastructure. Westel Systems, working hard to connect you to the world. Ask about their worry-free plans today.
Welcome back to Hawk football. Big drive there by the Hawks, facing some adversity there with some holding calls, and boy, answer with Schrader over the middle and
twice.
High percentage missed tackles seems to be the common theme here in the first half. 42-0 here. Jackson to kickoff. And it's going to be a booming kick close to the uprights. Touchback.
So Ryan, if you're the Gales, what do you do here? What do you come out and try to do if you're the Gales? You got a minute? You want to put a point on the board?
I run a screen, a middle screen. I mean, we talk about getting these defenders' eyes moving, Run a screen, run some motions, run a reverse. Run something that they haven't seen every game all the time,
They actually run a pretty nice, what we would call wide delay out of their bunch set. And it was effective when I saw it on film. They have only ran it once, I think. But again, like you said, they're not really expecting it. Now might be a time to come out and do that.
This D-line's fresh. They kind of rotate a lot of guys. Run a screen here. A hand off to the far side and picks up 7 yards. Nice little run there by Henning. He's a freshman, 5'7" running back. What I like to see here is coaches on the opposing side really try to score here before half.
Oh, for sure.
What I don't like? This guy's just being okay to be down 42-0.
Kneel it out and just get to the halftime, right?
So this time hitting on the carry again to the far side. He's going to pick up enough for a first down and then get met by, looked like Schrader on the tackle.
Yeah, that was a nice stick
Boy,
back there by
came out
Alex
of
Schrader.
nowhere.
You know,
25 seconds left here in the half.
It's kind of funny, you know, I look out in the field now and I remember when these guys were younger where they played at, you know, where I had them at.
$130.
Well, I mean, you have Alex Schrader who played middle linebacker playing defensive back. So most defensive backs, that's where they put their, less skilled tacklers, but
Lostweiler's
he is
going
not
to
one
keep
of
it.
them.
Had a couple juke moves. He's still on his feet. Picks up close to 10 yards. And they're not going to call any timeouts. It's going to be halftime. So Remsen, St. Mary's Hawks 42, Fort Dodge St. Edmond Gales 0. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. This is Hawk Football. Welcome back to Hawk football. It was all St. Mary's in the first half. Coach Arnold here in the house with me, to my right. You know, Coach, let's recap the scoring for the Hawks. It started off with a 7-yard touchdown pass, Ortman to Schrader, and then it started with a 16-yard TD run by Fish, making the score 13-0. 42-yard touchdown by Schrader, making the first quarter 21-0. Then it was a 12-yard TD run by Fish, a 5-yard TD run by Ortman, and then a 51-yard TD pass from Ortman to Schrader to make the score 42-0 here in the first half. Coach, if you're the Hawks, you played a great offense, defense, special teams, a great half. The only thing I can think of to clean up is penalties, and that was all in that last drive, you know, and some of those are just effort plays, I think. I don't think they were, you know, lazy plays with the holding. I think Jackson was getting a great effort down the field trying to make a block for his buddy. Just got called for holding, you know. So what was your takeaway by the Hawks first half?
I thought they played a very solid first half. And as a coach, you know, on the sidelines, when you're running these plays, you know, because they're aware of what's happening, they design the plays. So they know where the guys are supposed to be blocking at. They know where the lanes are. You know, if I'm them being up 42-0 the second half, you want to come out there and anything that you thought was a discrepancy, any plays that you're like, okay, that should have worked, why didn't it? I want to come back and visit that, because if it doesn't work or, you know, you get tackled for a no gain, you know, it's really no sweat when you're up by 42 points. Right. So just kind of establish the game plan you want to go, you know, going forward. And also, you know, you can start working on plays that you haven't practiced a lot or ran a lot and kind of see what they're like in a live game. And then you can take them back to the practice field if you want to. You know, I kind of like that too. Go out here and kind of play around a little bit. Oh yeah, I like that. And now let's go back and work on that, because you're getting a live read on it against a good varsity team, you know, versus your younger kids.
And if you're on the other side, St. Edmond's had some things going here early in the first quarter, marching down the field, and then they get turnover on downs. They go back to that 4th and goal. 3rd and goal at the 1 yard. Then they go under center. They get half the distance. Okay. Then on 4th down and goal at the 6-inch yard line, they're going shotgun formation. Tackle for loss. This Hawks defense is fast, strong. I just think you go under center. You score there, it's a tie ball game. Things are different. You know, you get some confidence on the other end, but that was not the case. What the Hawks do, they capitalize, turnover on downs into points, and it's been a catch-up game ever since. St. Edmunds, if you're the Gales in the second half, what do you try to do here to try to get something on the board and try to stop the Hawks offense?
You know, firstly, I know defensively, you have to do something to mess with the timing of the Hawks. You know, you can't let them come out of the gate and run these routes. They're having some good success the last couple of series, taking away the outside edge, taking away the inside run, forcing Brendan and Kale to move more outside, and their outside linebackers are filling that gap and kind of cutting them off. So I like that idea. I want to force St. Mary's to do that, but also, you know, with the mindset of winning the game, you don't want the Hawks to come out here and just burn through the clock when they have the ball either. You know what I mean? So they're going to have to start scoring quickly, and on offense, you know, they have to get away from, you know, and just watching their film, throwing these jump balls, you know, taking the ball downfield and hoping that, you know, Dickerson's going to make a play on it. It works sometimes, but St. Mary's has really good athletes, and they have height, and they're really good at reading the ball. So they're sitting back there waiting for those balls to come and making plays on them. You know, they have to start, like you kind of made a point earlier, running some screens, you know, trying to see what their players can do in open space and not try to just, you know, gain 30 yards by throwing it 30 yards. Try to gain 25 yards by throwing it 5 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what kind of adjustments each coach makes. I mean, like I said, with the Hawks, you just keep doing what you're doing. But if you're the Gales, we'll see what kind of adjustments are made here in the second half. And we'll see early in here if they're going to compete. A lot of teams, right. We've seen a lot of teams 42-0 against a powerhouse St. Mary's Hawks program. What do teams do? They just fold. Hey, let's just get this game over. Let's go back home and worry about tomorrow. Let's just get out of here.
No doubt.
So we're going to see this St. Edmunds and see if they're going to fight here in the second half.
And I'm curious if they're going to come out here and run a reverse off of the return, possibly. Do something to kind of.
Jackson starts the second half with the touchback. Boy, he's been a huge weapon on the kicking game that, you know, probably Olsman probably didn't expect this year with losing Jensen and having Jackson back not only at the linebacker position but helping out here in the special teams as well. So
no, that's a huge help. And I remember this from 2018. You know, you graduate kickers and you don't really have one coming back, and you know, you don't know where they're going to start at an offense. It's kind of a crapshoot. And now you can pretty much dictate, hey, we can get them at the 15, 90% of the time.
So here in the second half, we'll see what the Gales decide to do. They're going to hand off to Baker, far side. Baker has some room. He's going to pick up 5 yards before getting tackled by Fish and Britt on the tackle. Oh, not bad first down play, get 5 yards.
No, and that's the same, Ryan. That's the same run play they ran towards the end of the first half there out of that wing series, and they're having some success with it. And we talked about that earlier, just the disadvantage you're at in defense with numbers. If you don't kind of line up to that properly, you're going to create your linebackers being blocked by guards.
We'll see here if they're predictable and going to do a play-action pass here in the second down like they did in the first half. And it is a play-action pass to the far side, throw across the body, and it's going to be deflected. Could have been intercepted, but Fish gets a hand on it. An incomplete pass. Coach, I told you the first half, right away I noticed second down, they're always play-action passing. What they do here in the second half, run the ball first down, and then play-action pass here, right here in the second down. So 3rd and 5 for the Gales.
And I wonder,
you
too,
talked
Ryan,
about earlier, you just can't go back and chuck it up in the middle hoping your receiver's going to win. We got 6'5" back there. We got Alex Schrader back there. He's a ball hawk, so got some great DBs.
Well, that's what I wonder. If he's scrambling so much, he's just throwing it to where he feels like someone's going to be there because he had somebody open on the boundary over there.
Rothweiler's going to keep it to the far side and get tackled for a loss. That's Jackson Bunkers on the tackle. So the Gales are going to come out here in the second half and probably get forced to punt here.
Well, and another adjustment, Ryan, that could be made is offensively for the Gales, the quarterback is right-handed, and he's obviously comfortable rolling to his left because that's where they're doing these sprint-out plays too. And so what happens is the St. Mary's defense is doing that every time. They're moving to their right, and they're getting that step. What's up with coming back and rolling out to your right side? Yeah. Doing a bootleg and getting them off balance.
Boy, the punt is very high and short, and it's going to be down at the Gales 34-yard line. Yeah, these Hawks are playing fast defensively, and how do you slow fast? Screens, reverses.
Got to get their eyes moving around.
Man, you got to be running something than what you ran before in the first half, and that so far early here in the second half we haven't seen it obviously with 3 plays here. So
for sure.
Hawks offense, we'll see what they see if they can continue their success here. They're going to start with shotgun T formation, and this has been a huge formation here for the Hawks this year. And Fish is going to get the carry right up the middle, breaks the tackle, and picks up 12 yards. Nice run by Brennan Fish right up the middle. I'm telling you, these running backs aren't getting touched till 7-8 yards down the field. That tells 100%. Me O-line's doing their job.
And so, you have to be aware of that. And how do you compensate when your defensive line is getting outmatched by the offensive line? You got to get more guys down in the box.
So this time Ortman's going to keep it. Makes one guy miss with a stiff arm and picks up 3 yards before getting taken down. Nice job by the Gales hustling over there.
And if I'm the Gales, if I'm going to really play to win this football game, Ryan, I'm going to make St. Mary's throw the ball. That may sound crazy because they're already up by 42 points, but if they're just able to line up and run the ball for 5 yards, the clock's going to start ticking away, and you're just going to run out of time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, again, if my best, defensive players and my defensive backs, I want them to be involved in the game as much as possible.
This time Fish gets the carry here to the near side, and he's going to get tripped up right outside the 10-yard line, but it picks up enough for the Hawks' first down. So Hawks picking up right where they left off here in the first half, and boy, a nice strong start here for the third quarter. And they're going to stick with that shotgun T formation.
Yeah, and you can see the splits here, Ryan. And the defensive ends are getting wide because they're so concerned about, getting beat to the boundary. And then what happens is, Brennan or Alex will cut up the middle, and get a gain.
Boy, this is a run to the near side. Brennan's going to high step it in for the Hawk touchdown. 11-yard TD run by Brennan Fish. Boy, I was watching that line of scrimmage, and the hole just opened up. You get a DB on him, he does a stiff arm, and there he goes. And we've always talked about this. Brennan Fish runs harder later in the game than the beginning of the game. He just is a tough guy to bring down. So Hawks are going to try for the extra point. Nice opening drive here in the third quarter by the Hawks. Ortman to hold it down. Jackson, low line drive, and it's up and good to make it Remsen St. Mary's Hawks 49, St. Edmond Gales 0. We'll stay here for Ran a lot of commercials there at halftime, and thanks to all of our sponsors for making this possible. I mean, once again, this is pretty cool stuff. Being able to call this game. It's homecoming week. We have a lot of alumni supporting us, with sponsors and putting these commercials together, but just listening to the games, listening to us, get a lot of feedback, and
for sure.
For the most part, it's good. So the people that don't like it, they haven't talked to us, so that's probably good.
Well, and we have headsets on, so we can't hear people if they're yelling at us.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it is nice, and I really enjoy it. I coached the seniors, and they were freshmen, so it's fun for me to sit back and kind of see them growing up and see how their games developed. And just, I've always said this. St. Mary's, we've got really, good students, good athletes. I love all these guys, but what gets overlooked a lot, or I guess probably more than overlooked, just isn't known, is how hard they've worked. Because I've seen I've been there and seen what these guys have done and what they put themselves through mentally to get better at stuff. And so I'm just always really happy for them when they have this kind of success.
Absolutely. And it's been fun calling games with you, Coach Arnold, this year. It's been
a good time.
It's been a hoop. Jackson bunkers. Another bombing kick, almost up through the uprights.
And I really like this, Ryan. You watch the kickoff team; they all end up in the end zone.
Yeah, that's a race. That's competitive.
That's exactly.
I mean,
you make it fun.
Sophomores and freshmen, you give them a chance on special teams. They're running 100% to the line, and that's when you see that, you got a great culture. You got a
like
great
you always
program.
said, man. All gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. That is exactly what the Hawks defense has done tonight. But I tell you what, this. They've got a lot of D linemen. Ty Tritz has been sitting out most of the game, getting some rest for next week. And the younger guys are stepping in and playing well. Britt and Holman and Poppy. This one's gonna be a deep pass to Dickerson, and once again Schrader all over it, bats it down.
That's just not, the more this game progresses, that just isn't looking like a very good matchup for them. Alex is just reading the ball so well, and the issue is, when they're throwing the ball that far down the field, the defensive back has more time to react to it, especially when his eyes are on you. You're not doing anything to turn his shoulders and get his back towards you. He can read that from 30 yards away.
So obviously, Schrader is locking him down. So as an offensive coordinator, I try to put Dickerson into someone on their spot. Put him at the running back. Motion him out. Get Schrader off him. Give me a linebacker on him.
Get him the ball in space.
Yeah.
Like you said, give him a reverse. Give him something to get him the ball.
Try to get a different matchup because Schrader has been locking him down. And this one's going to be a handoff to the near side. That's Henning. Henning picks up 1 yard before a host of Hawks tackle him. So nice job by Willman and Schrader on the tackle. So it's homecoming week. We had Alex Schrader, shout out to Alex Schrader, winning the homecoming king.
Yep.
And Grayson Schrader winning homecoming queen. And I heard a fun fact today. Grayson is the youngest of 4. She had 2 older sisters and an older brother, and they all won king or queen. So that is
really?
A royalty family.
Every time, they've all won.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Russ Schrader says that's full. Russ Schrader says, no way. Hey, I'm just telling you what I heard, Russ. Jeez. So 4th down here for the Gales. Is it not true? Is it true? Trey Gallas doing the camera work for us. He's a 7th grade RSM Hawk. He says it's true. See, I don't lie, Coach Arnold. I don't lie on.
No, I mean, I definitely know a couple of them were.
That's crazy. So it's going to be a fair catch for Schrader, the homecoming king. So 5:40 left here in the third quarter. So I think this is a perfect time for our trivia question, our week 3 trivia question, Coach.
Oh, sweet. I'm only 0 for 2. So.
Yeah, you're 0 for 2, and I had Jordan Feller over this week. He spent the night.
Okay.
And I taught. He's not a follower, not a listener, but I got him switched to it. Now he is. Okay?
Good.
I asked him the same trivia questions I asked you. Jordan Feller is a smart kid. He was 0 for 2 as well.
It's tough, man. Those were good questions.
So, we got Fish at a shotgun direct snap. He's running to the near side. Gets a lot of blocks from his buddies and keeps running. And it's a lot of green in front of him. And another stiff arm. What a run by Brennan Fish. Picks up about 30 yards.
Yeah, and we talked about that in the first quarter. You just can't grab at his feet or ankles and expect him to go down. It just won't happen.
Hey, but good job by the Gales running there and and not giving up on the play. They could
Right,
easily
good
give
pursuit.
up. So,
And I'd like to see them adjust to the formation a little bit differently, Ryan. You get in that bunch set, they really don't have all those gaps on the edge, secured, and then no one's over the tight end. If I'm them right now, anytime the Hawks have a tight end on the line of scrimmage in the tackle box, I'm coming down and getting in front of it. Because I don't want him blocking my linebackers anymore, because that's what's happening.
Fish is going to get it right back after that long run and run it up the middle, and he's going to pick up a couple. If I'm Gallister, I'd just say, hey, Fish, you take this play off. I'll just direct it to Schrader or Ortman. I mean, you just ran 40 yards, breaked a few tackles. Hey, take this play off. I'll get Schrader a snap here. But so back to Feller, wanted to ask you a question, wanted me to run this trivia question. And this one was a tough one. But I'm not going to ask you. This is not the trivia, but I'm just letting you know how Feller wanted to take it. He wanted to know how many touchdowns we gave up in 04 varsity. Touchdowns. And Feller, I mean, that was a tough question because I'd asked him, do you add special teams? Is it just like the first 3 quarters? Because we never played the fourth quarter, barely played the second half. But I tell you what, his answer was 9. 9. So I said, Schrader, that is way too hard. And doesn't even sound like you're confident on that answer.
Right.
So, Feller, sorry, I'm not asking Coach Arnold, but I'm going to have him answer this question as the Hawks face a 3rd and goal here. And Fish is low in the backfield again. Fish run right up the middle, push a couple guys away, and it's going to be a Hawk touchdown.
Ryan.
A 5-yard Hawk touchdown run by Fish.
And in a situation like that, you got the back in the backfield taking the snap down by the goal line. I'm pretty much, I'm okay if he throws a touchdown pass there and I'm down by this much. I'm bringing all those guys up and getting head up on all those offensive linemen, and I'm going to try to take away all those gaps and try to make a stop. Try to get that much of a, momentum going. Like, hey, we made a good 4th down stand against a good team, down in the red zone.
Make him throw the ball. All right. The Hawks line up for an extra point. Snap, a little low. Ortman's got the hold, and the kick is good. So, Remsen St. Mary's Hawks 56. Fort Dodge St. Edmonds Gales 0. All right, Coach, you ready?
Yep.
We played a team called Twin River Valley Bode.
Okay.
In 04.
Dallas Clark.
That is the answer.
I knew it.
I knew you were going to get it right. My question was before Zach so confidently answered and finally got on the board was what famous Hawkeye came out of Twin River Valley Bode, and Dallas Clark is the answer.
Big victory.
Big 4-4. What round was he drafted?
3rd.
First
round tight end. Wow.
So good
he was
job,
good.
Coach Arnold. I knew you were going to get that.
Yeah,
I just had a feeling, and
I kind of cheated last week. I told you to ask me where somebody went to college or high school or something.
Darn it, Feller! I should have listened to you.
No, I need a confidence boost. I don't want to get stumped for a 3rd week in a row.
So 1 and 2.
They're going to take me off the air.
Coach Arnold gets on the board with he answers it before I even ask the question. That should be a bonus.
I read your mind, man.
That should be a bonus.
I coached against you defense versus offense enough. I know what you're thinking sometimes. Man.
Yeah, we've had some fun offense and defensive practices back in the day too.
Intense would be the word that I would use. Ryan.
Yeah.
Not you and I
Head
versus each other, just like
head scratchers and a lot of kicking in the dirt.
We were projecting a lot of intensity in those matchups.
So all St. Mary's Hawks here in homecoming week. So Coach, they got rid of the homecoming dance. Now it's just a get together.
Okay, cool.
Someone said they're going to just play flag football or play.
Yeah, I don't think kids dance anymore.
Yeah. With all these YouTube things, you think all the kids would have the dance moves.
That's exactly why. They just sit on their phones, man.
Yeah. Osweiler's going to drop back to pass. Has some time, but it's going to be deflected by big
good play.
5'5" Holman. You think Brady taught him that or Colin?
He's done that a couple times this year. I've seen Colin. A few times he's batted a ball down, so that's good. And you notice about him, and it helps when you're 6'5", but he isn't jumping. He's not leaving his feet as much, so he's not making himself vulnerable in that regard. And just kind of flailing his hands out there and batting it away.
So nice play by Colin Holman. Getting a lot of playing time because they're resting Ty Tritz. He's got a little bit of knee problem.
Yeah, and it looks like the Hawks have subbed in mostly the underclassmen out,
Yeah.
out on defense. So that's always exciting to see how these guys
we
are
bragged about how
going.
How awesome this is, stealing like a JV game,
Right.
against their best. Lossweiler's going to roll out to the near side here, and
nice
it's
job there
again
by
going to get
BK.
deflected by, was that BK
Braxton
and
Knipe,
Braxton Knipe on the deflection.
He did a good job. He was being forced outside by the lineman, and he just went with it because that's where he wants to be anyway. He wants to maintain that gap, and he didn't try to do too much and made a good play.
So nice job by the Hawks, younger guys. Oh, Trey says it was Hunter Pick.
Oh, Hunter Pick batted
Hunter
it?
Pick batted it down, said no, 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 no. So I want to thank Trey Gallas tonight for running the camera work. And 1:20 here left in the third quarter. Third and long here for the Gales. Two receivers on the near side. Lossweiler and Baker in the backfield. Lossweiler's going to drop straight back this time. Throw it deep. Intended for Dickerson, and it's going to be deflected by young Keaton Harpenall, sophomore. Nice job on the coverage.
Yeah, and you can see there on that what we would call a mesh play, Ryan, out of that slot set. They've ran that 3 times so far this game, but they kind of had a mix-up there where the two guys coming across were kind of like in front of each other and in each other's way, and that kind of slowed the progression. I think he was possibly looking to go to a different route than Dickerson that time, but the guys were kind of hitting each other, and so the timing was off, and so he threw it downfield again.
Ooh, almost a blocked punt by the Hawks, and Schrader is going to make a crowded catch there, and Hawks are going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. We'll see if they're going to run it to the fourth quarter, and 20 seconds left. So Hawks look like they're going to take it to the fourth quarter, and we will too. So this has been all Hawks here at homecoming week. Remsen St. Mary's Hawks 56, St. Edmond Gales 0. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Gangler Feed Service in Remsen is your complete farm store. We feed all farm species, and we're a Hubbard, Kent, and big game dealer. Whether it's sprayers, grain banking, corn drying, or feeding your animals, we're your complete farm store, and service is our business. Gangler Feed Service in Remsen. Call them at 786-2234 or stop in and see them. Service is our business at Gangler Feed Store, Remsen.
Welcome back to Fuller Digital Solutions. This is Hawk Football with Coach Arnold Ryan Hayek here. And Coach, I'm already getting a lot of texts about the question. Said it was too easy. So I have to go back to the drawing board. Cody Calling said he even knew that answer.
Man, I just can't. They
don't
want to give me a victory here. I just can't walk off into the sunset with a good victory.
I knew you were going to answer the
trivia
I knew you were going to
question.
get that question right, and that's what kind of bothered me all day, going back and forth what I should do. But got to give it to you. Not too many people answer the question before
you
the
ask.
question.
It might have been too easy, but would they have answered it before you finished like I did? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the confidence.
If we're going to get competitive and technical about this, at least I handled. At least I was confident about it. You know what I mean?
100%. So fourth quarter to start here. St. Mary's Hawks going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 30. And we got the younger guys out there. This is Walshman at quarterback. Walshman going to hand off to Coink. Coink's going to cut it up to the middle and get a nice 4 yards on the run. That's Brady Coink on the carry.
And right now, Ryan, if I'm the head coach, I am putting extreme emphasis on holding your blocks because younger guys, the game, you're up by this much.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, what, why? And it's like, no, because I want you to build these, reps in your head that here's how we block when we're out there.
For sure.
You're going to hold the block to the whistle.
Important snaps here.
They're very important.
Keaton Harpenall is going to try to stretch it out to the far side. We got a penalty on the play, and he's going to pick up right about the first down, but we'll see what the flag is. I'm guessing it's going to be a holding call on the Hawks.
Yeah, and I'm also going to tell them I don't want to see, as a ball carrier is running down a sideline, I don't want to see people with the same jersey on walking towards him. If the whistle hasn't been blown yet, you know what I mean? I want to see intensity and getting out there and trying to find a job to do to help out your teammate.
And it is going to be holding on the Hawks. take away that 5-yard gain. I want to give a special shout out to my wife, who's got a birthday coming up Monday. Happy early birthday.
Happy birthday, Kendra.
Oh, thanks, Coach Arnold. So appreciate that. So second down and 20 here for the Hawks. Walshman going to motion Coink. Hand off to Coink. Coink's going to run it here to the near side. He's going to cut it up the middle after a nice block by Gravenish. Nice, picked up about 10 yards. Nice run by Coink. I like how patient he was there.
Yeah, exactly, and Caleb did a good job being in the place he needed to be. He didn't have to make some crazy block and get a pancake. He was just obstructing the path for the defender, and that's all you need to do, really.
Yeah,
get in the way. Get in the
way.
way.
Good run by the Hawks, these young Hawks here. It's going to be 3rd and 9. Walshman alone in the backfield. They're going to draw the Gales offside. So nice job by the young Hawks here. Pick up a free 5 yards.
No, and that's good too. Get them accustomed to here's a scheme that we kind of run on offense, and we do this a lot. So you guys need to be aware of it. And when we call it in, we can't make it obvious. So you just kind of got to be subtle and get out there and execute.
For sure. So now it's going to be 3rd and 4 compared to a 3rd and 9 here. So you do it back to back. Do you do it back to back times?
It wouldn't hurt to try.
Coink on the motion. Walshman going to keep it to the near side. He's got enough for a first down. Nice job by Walshman on the carry. So good job by the Hawks. Get a first down after a penalty. So we look to the future, and Coach, we got a road trip next week to Newell Fonda. They were up at KP at half, 20-14.
Okay.
So
20-14 at half, they were up.
Yep.
Okay.
20-14 at half. I don't know what the score is now, but I remember Panthers are without their head coach because he got ejected last week.
That's right. They are.
So the Panthers
playing
are fighting without their head coach. So that's good to see. So Coink on the carry. He's going to lose a yard.
Yeah, when you have a defeat early in the season, you always think, okay, well, we can't linger with that. We have 8 more games to play or 7 more games to play. As we start creeping into weeks 4 and 5, those start to set you back a little bit. Now, exactly, they're much more significant than they normally are, just like the first week of the season.
So 2nd and 11 for the Hawks. Walshman alone in the backfield. He's going to motion Harpenall. Harpenall's going to get the carry. He's got big 5-5 in front of him. But Colin makes the block, and Harpenall picks up enough for a first down. Nice job by the Hawks again, right? Another first down.
Yeah, and that's a good sequence we have, that bunch, and you can run to this, you can motion the guy across, and now you really have numbers against him. And then the thing is, like they did before too, you can fake that, and you run it back to the near side, and the defense is flowing so much to the right side that their eyes can't keep up, and pretty soon you got a 10-yard gain when you really shouldn't have.
If I'm St. Edmonds, I'm taking this Hawks offense, and I'm stealing a few plays and running it next week in my offense. I'm running it with Dickerson. I'm running it with Lofsweiler. I'm getting these guys these kind of looks.
For sure.
So shotgun T formation for the Hawks. Walshman's going to hand off to Tenniger. Tenniger's going to run high up the middle, pick up a couple of yards, call it 3. Nice job by Cade Tenniger, running hard up the middle. So, Coach, you have big plans for the weekend?
No comment.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I don't. Same plan, man.
So the Hawks are going to try to draw the Gales offside. No jump, so the Hawks regroup here and call play. Walshman's going to motion Coink. Coink's not going to get the handoff. Walshman up the middle, and he's going to pick up enough for a first down. Nice run by Walshman. Good blocking up front by the Hawks.
And we were just talking about that. You get their eyes moving to the right, and pretty soon the mic starts to shift over. Everyone's creeping a little bit, and they're cheating, and you take it up the middle.
Boy, if you're Coach Osterman, you like what you see here by the young kids here. So I got a text from big old Billy Steichen. Says the score's 20-14 still with the KP Newell Fonda game.
Oh, great.
Thanks, Bill.
Yes, thank you for telling us that.
He's probably sitting in a recliner and throwing a couple sodas down.
2014, probably in the third, fourth quarter
close
now?
to the third, maybe fourth. Coink is going to run right up the middle for a Hawk touchdown. Brady Coink on a 10-yard touchdown run.
And Ryan, you were always big on this when you were the head coach. You really like to see your young kids celebrate when they were able to score in a varsity game. Like, you don't want to make it anything extra when it's 62-0, but go over there and give them a high five.
Heck
hey,
yeah.
you scored in a varsity game. Good job.
Heck yeah. I mean, they marched right down the field.
Yeah, that was a good series.
Was a great drive by Remsen St. Mary's. So the Hawks are going to try to line up for an extra point here. Snap, a little low. And Jackson gets the kickoff, and it is good. Remsen St. Mary's Hawks 63, Fort Dodge St. Edmond 0. 6:27 left here in the fourth quarter. Stick around for interview with Coach Osterman post-game. Talk to him on why, well, there's nothing really to pick his brain about. It's been a smooth game for the Hawks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you what,
look back at it.
For as worried as he was about the practice this week, I mean, boy, maybe you run it like the same.
Let him have the same vibe next week.
Same vibe next week, huh?
Let's have a couple of poor
Farmer's
practices.
Day
We'll play really well, yeah. Have them wear costumes before practice. Well, and then, Ryan, a lot of that really could be, this isn't an excuse, and I don't think it's a good idea to let, your student athletes behave this way, but they're playing with a lot of confidence, so they're going in a lot of these games, and they're kind of seeing the scoreboard that we see now before the game started, and that's not a good idea, but until somebody can make them flinch a little bit, that's probably what you're going to see, But it is challenging when a team is, finding success all the time to keep them focused on, a team that they feel like, you can lie to them all you want or try to play mind games and say, hey, these guys are really competitive. They're going to give us a fight. These guys have played the game and they watch film too. And sometimes, they can just feel really confident about it, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I think that's a huge point there. We talk about this a lot. Just showing up to the game, you can win on the mental side, not being confident. You're already an advantage, and then when you put what you put on the field to back up that, that mindset, then it makes things a lot smoother and easier.
Well, when you're a team that, when your
nice job by the Hawks, Kate Tinniger on the tackle with Garrett's. Nice job.
Yeah, that was nice. When your opposition essentially has to play a game where they can't make any mistakes, that's just a lot of pressure out of the gate. They know when they come out here, it's like, okay, and even after that failed fourth down conversion in the red zone, Ryan, those are big plays against teams like the Hawks because you don't get a lot of opportunities like that. And that would have been a chance for them to go up actually 7-6.
Right.
And granted, the game could have spiraled anyway after that, but you at least get some respect in that regard that, hey, we can put points on the board against these guys in our first series.
Lenny Steichen misses a sack, and the Gale's going to get close to a first down. That was Swisher, a freshman quarterback, on the carry. Nice run by the young kid. Schrader. So third and short here for the Gales. They're going to be in shotgun formation. They're going to run it to the near side. He picks up just enough for the first down before a bunch of Hawks take him down. That looked like Walschmidt, Steichen, and Worth all on the tackle. So just over 4 minutes. We'll see if the Hawks defense can keep that shutout going.
Yeah, and that's a good incentive for these guys, because if RC went out there and played a really solid defensive game, and granted, they're probably not going to come back and win this game, but, and this is my philosophy, as you all know, don't give them any free points. Come out there and finish the game.
Swisher going to run it right up the middle and get tackled by Garrett's. Nice play by Garrett's. Nice run. Nice hard run by Swisher. I've been impressed by these young kids at St. Edmunds. And give credit to this team. They have not quit. They've came out the second half and have fought.
No, they've tried
as hard as they can.
And they've done what's worked from this year. You know what I mean? It's hard to go into a game where you don't know what's going to work, and they're trying to get these things going. unfortunately, when you play a team like the Hawks, things aren't going to go your way all the time like they have in other games.
And I tell you what, I've been impressed by this young Hawks offense and defense. They're looking good. So the Gales are going to run a sweep with the quarterback to the far side. He breaks one tackle and gets taken down by Coink, but not until a first down by the Gales.
Yeah, and he's running hard, and
yeah,
you want to see these Hawks defenders, especially back in the linebacker and secondary, start kind of filling on that a little bit and trying not to give him, too many yards on one carry.
So 1st and 10 for the Gales. Just under 3 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Gales on the march. Fake handoff. He's going to try to throw it deep. He's under pressure. Throws it to a wide open receiver. It's going to be incomplete pass. It's not that the timing was just thrown off. And that was pressure by the Hawks defensive lineman. So it's Saturday, big college football. Now we're getting into conference play with the Big Ten and the SEC and the Big 12. Now we should be getting some good football for college football here.
Absolutely, especially after last week.
Uh-oh, Swisher doesn't know what's going on. Now he's going to run it to the far side and get drove out of bounds by Keaton Harpinall. Oh, and a late flag. I think that's going to be a late hit by Keaton, but you know what? I don't know if I'd agree with that late penalty.
It's hard to see, from our perspective, from this distance, yeah, it looks like maybe a flag that didn't need to be thrown because the guy is standing up, and it's hard to slow down when you're running full speed. And, if you're aggressive like Keaton is.
Weight's down.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't put the brakes on like that.
But the Gales are going to get bailed out here with the penalty, a personal foul, late hit. But if you're Coach Osterman, you look at it, that was a hustle. I mean, that wasn't he didn't try to do that. He wasn't.
Absolutely. Well, and, I like this. Like, they're being tested now. Hey,
yeah,
now you're down by the goal line.
Yeah.
Now they're here.
Let's see how they respond here with the penalty. And if you're the Gales, let's punch this in.
For sure, absolutely.
So Swisher going to fake the handoff roll to the far side. He's going to chuck it deep, and it's going to be caught, but it's going to be out of bounds.
Ooh, nice catch, though. Out of bounds, but nice catch, especially after a deflected ball. That was a nice catch.
Good, great concentration.
And I think that was Cade Tenniger out there, number 5, that kind of tipped that ball away.
Yeah, it was Tenniger on the tip. So it's going to be second down. Our chain gain over there has got a third down. Who was that, Joe? Is that Joe Schrader still in chain gain? We got third down, so second down. Oh, Jay Schrader's got the number. He's still counting all his victories with the royalty, King and Queen. Swisher he's getting scrambled up the middle, and he's going to get tackled right out the 5-yard line by Worth and Garrett's. All right, the Gales trying to score here right before the end of the game here. 40 seconds left here, third. And 4 yards to go.
Hey, this is exciting though, because I want Fort Dodge, to try to score, and I want the Hawks try to stop them.
Yeah,
these last few seconds, it's kind of nail biting. It's getting some intensity back into the game.
Let's see what the Hawks do here. Just outside the 5-yard line, Gales going to line up
and
here.
If you're these young players for the Hawks, you got to remember the back of the end zone is your friend here.
Yeah, Swisher fakes the sweep, running up the middle. He's going to get met by the Hawks defenders. That's Worth and Tinniger and Coink on the carry. And that
looks like they wanted to call a timeout, but the coaches are not going to do it.
That's going to be it. It's Remsen St. Mary's Hawks 63, Fort Dodge St. Edmond Gales 0. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors in our post game. Welcome back to Hawk Football. I'm with Coach Arnold here, and Coach, it was homecoming week, a lot of distractions. We haven't lost on this field for 6 years now. Just talk about how well the Remsen St. Mary's Hawks look.
Yeah, I think, outside of the one series where they kind of had a bunch of penalties string together, probably near 30 to 40 yards worth, and then they were able to convert with Alex Schrader, run that little middle pass to him. So overall, I think personally this is the best game that they've played as a whole in terms of, not only outcome, but just play-by-play, like effectiveness. Can't really ask for much more than that. 63-0 against a team that, I think the coaches thought would score a few points. Their offense has been dynamic and explosive all year. Talking about the Gales. And so I think Coach Osterman will be pleased that he was able to come out here and get a shutout on homecoming.
Yeah, and so big game by the Hawks, clean game for the Hawks, offense, defense, special teams. And nice to see those young kids make a goal line stop there as the game was winding down. So
absolutely.
You can tell things are going in the right direction for these Hawks. And, got a good road trip coming up with Newell Fonda next week. So just talk a little bit about that preview and just what we know with the coaching staff at Newell Fonda. Well-coached team always. Guys that are going to compete. I don't see it being a 63-0 game, but this Hawks team is rolling on all kinds of cylinders. So just talk, Coach, about the Mustangs coming up.
Yeah, Ryan. Haven't had a chance to watch any Newell. Well, I shouldn't say any because I watched some Newell film against Fort Dodge here. But to actually watch Newell film to see how they line up and stuff, I really honestly don't think a team is going to have any success stopping the Hawks offense, unless they start making them a little bit uncomfortable. And Newell Fonda historically kind of has, they're very well coached and they're very fundamentally sound always. Playing with the safety against these guys is kind of, the run game can get established and then things open up. I really feel like they have to come out and be aggressive, which I'm sure they will. Newell Fonda's they're always playing hard. They're always a tough team. On the defensive side of the ball for the Hawks, a team's got to get them to, I don't know if there's a team that can match the Hawks' speed sideline to sideline. They got to find a way, and you made a couple comments about this today, and we've talked about it probably every week, to just throw off the rhythm a little bit. Throw some sweeps in there to the far side boundary. Throw some bootlegs. Don't have a pattern, because these guys, St. Mary's Hawks players, are seeing the game so well and quickly that if you start developing a pattern, man, they pick up on it. And especially Jackson Bunkers at Mike, which is, essentially like the nucleus of your defense. Everyone kind of feeds off of him. If he's making good reads on that, it's hard to run the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to call next week. So I'm excited, Coach, and big homecoming week, 63-0 win. I got Coach Osterman is in the house now.
Yep, I'm going to give up my headset. Thank you all for listening.
Hey, I think we had a no-mute game, so that was our first
Production
game.
quality's going up,
we're
Ryan.
getting better. So the Coach Osterman in the house. Thanks to Coach Arnold for calling the game with me tonight. Coach, we talked a little bit this afternoon. Wasn't a great week of practice, a lot of distractions. Always is homecoming week. I think we all agree, every coach, probably football coach agrees, get homecoming in basketball so we don't have to worry about this stuff, right? But it's fun for the kids, and you're kind of concerned about practice, but I tell you what, offensively look sharp, defensively look sharp, special teams look sharp. Just talk about how, I guess, for as worried as you were, and maybe that's not the word to use, but boy, they came out on fire today.
And I don't know if you can be disappointed in a 63-0 win, but the biggest thing is that we had far too many penalties, and they killed us on one play, and I still don't understand how they were doing it that way. So we got a lot of film to watch to clean up that play. I'm sure Newell Fonda can figure that out and run that play at us just as much. So I thought offensively we had a good plan. I loved how we ran downhill. I thought Brendan Fish had a really good night. I thought quarterback Cale Ortman was finding his receivers down the field, and they made plays. There was a sequence in there where we got 3rd and long about 3 different times and converted every single time. So
I thought that's how you drew it up. I thought you and Gallus wanted to see the adversity that they face.
But, I think offensively we did some really good things. I think the only thing that stopped us was us. I don't think we punted tonight again, so we'll take that. I thought our second group stepped in and ran a really good offensive series here in the second. And again, you keep those starters out there a little bit just to stretch them, because next week's probably not going to look like this. So we have to make sure that we're paying attention and getting them conditioning and whatnot. But big shout out to the McKenna clan that's listening. Big shout out to Blaine and Kathy Osterman out there on the waves, and of course the fantasy football team, which I can't use your actual name, but you guys paid attention, and thanks for watching us.
Yeah, big following, and it's homecoming week. It's always cool to get the alumni at the game, and then all the alumni following the football program, and just the culture. It's kind of a unique thing. Defensively, Coach, Dickerson, great receiver. Loffesweiler, great quarterback, and arguably the better quarterback we've seen this year so far, especially with Gunderson out in the first week. I tell you what, man, you made him very uncomfortable. Schrader was locked on to Dickerson the whole night. Just talk about how well your defense played tonight.
And I think we did, for the most part, we did okay on the run. We cleaned up that sweep play, we'll be fine. I think they had that one play early on with Johnny that they hit down the field a couple different times that was just, we just couldn't let it happen. But again, if the defensive back's eyes are in the wrong spot, then that kind of separation is going to occur. But then the rest of the night, that wasn't a problem. They took their shots, and they were all over it. And that's kind of what you expect from senior defensive backs, is that they're going to be right there on top of those things. I think we ended up with 2 interceptions, maybe had opportunities at 3 or 4 more.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the type of situation you want, is that we're right there for those 50-50 balls, and we're affecting the quarterback. Sent a couple stunts this week just to see if we couldn't get his feet changed, but I thought, again, defensive ends did some really good things for us, stayed wide. I think we lost our bearings one time, but I think overall, defensively, we did really good against the pass. We had one receiver we needed to cover, and I think we did that pretty well.
Coach, we're looking forward to next week. We got on the road to Newell Fonda. Just talk, I know you take one game at a time, so I know you haven't watched any film, but just talk about knowing Brian Wilkin, what the Mustangs are going to bring. On preseason, this is probably a game you circle, knowing it's probably going to be for the district, So just talk about how excited, you get to prepare for the Mustangs, and what should we expect in the game for next week.
Right, and again, a lot of respect for Brian Wilkin, Nathan Bourne. They built a really good program at Newell Fonda, so we're going to have our attention fully trained on them. The biggest thing with the Brian Wilkin coach team is they're going to be gap sound defensively. They're not going to give you anything easy, and they're going to play really good coverage on the back end. If you do anything, if you misread anything, they're going to get a good pass rush on you, and they're going to intercept the ball. That's the number one thing you got to be paying attention to offensively. And defensively, again, Brian does a good job of changing up formations. He does a really good job of running power and counter and sweep, and he does all those things that you want a good running offense to do. And then you have to be concerned about play action. So our guys have their work cut out for them next week. This is going to be a really good team. They're ranked really high, and so for us, it's going to be a really difficult week that we got to prepare for, and hopefully we can do everything early in the week that we can come out 1-0 at the end.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach Osterman, and picking up our 33rd home game winning streak, and that dates back to 6 years almost to the date. So, Coach Osterman, thank you for the post game. It has been Remsen St. Mary's Hawks 63-0. I want to thank Trey Gallis for running the camera. I want to thank Zach Arnold for calling the game with me. Gales will be home against the Bishop Garrigan, and the Hawks will be on the road against Newell Fonda next week. This should be a great game. Final score, Remsen St. Mary's Hawks 63, Fort Dodge St. Edmond Gales 0. So long from Ryan Hayek.